Welcome to the RedIn30 podcast, where we talk about Jesus, truth, and us, all using red words.
Using red words. Black.
All right, so here we go, guys. We are back. And we started now.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, we here. I'm starting right now.
Bet.
Yes, bam, and we on RedIn30. What up, y'all? Y'all all right?
What's up?
Yeah.
We wildin', man. I'm excited.
Are we?
That was the most anticlimactic.
we wildin', man. Hey,
Are we really?
I'm about to be wildin'. Hey, but this is episode, what?
14.
14, if you don't know Spanish. It's
We shouldn't even interpret it.
episode, just figure it out. Episode 14. We here RedIn30, where we talk about Jesus, truth, and you, all using red words. Right? Right. Red30.com. It's a 30-day reading of the Gospels. The Gospels is Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. We love the entire Bible. We believe that the Bible is a story about us, but we know those red words really tell us who we are in the story, because that's the words of Jesus. And so it changes our perspective. I think it gives us a different viewpoint, different vision of things, and we just see things in a different perspective.
Sure.
And so that's what it is. Make sure you go to red30.com, get in the daily reading. We post it on Instagram. We post it on Twitter. We got a podcast, The Gospels, by RedIn30. We got this podcast on there. So make sure you subscribe to all of it, YouTube. And we just daily reading. You know, daily, doing something daily is consistent. You know, I think the most important thing about our lives is consistency.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what we feel like out here, what we do, how we get dressed, and actions that we do, there's one thing that's consistent. It's actually one of the most important things in our life. Now, heartbeat.
Yeah.
It's constant. Boom, 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 boom. Regardless of how you feel, you're having a good day or a bad day, regardless if you're tired or if you're sleepy or you're awake or whatever, that heartbeat still beats, and it's the consistency of life. And so I think there's a power, there's a growth, there's a life in consistency. And so that's why we do RedIn30. You know, and keep it on a process. It's not really, we don't really want to call it a devotional, because I think life is devotional. I think you should devote your life, you know what I'm saying, instead of having, you know, a reading and calling it a devotional.
That's all it is.
It's being consistent. And you're learning really more about you.
Yeah.
Using the red word. So we here. How y'all feeling? Y'all feeling all right tonight?
Great.
Y'all good? Everybody gravy?
Yeah.
I'm excited, man. We had to miss a week, man. So I'm kind of worked up, man. I'm charged up. My phone full of notes and stuff, man. So it's dope.
Let's get it up there.
It's dope. It's funny, man. I think that we have to focus on the red words. You're in my throat.
That was you.
Like.
Because you never stopped talking, but I heard something, and I looked at her mouth,
I was trying to, maybe I heard it in my own head. You know, you hear something in your head, like when you're chewing or something. I thought I heard it in my own head.
You hungry?
And
Came
then,
up to the
you know, like, my throat was like, I want to talk too. So, yeah, so that's weird. That's very, very weird. But anyway, so I think the cool thing about this, man, is just changing perspective. I was just talking to a homeboy earlier on Instagram, and he was like, man, it's funny how just going in the red words really changes the way that you see things. Because you can think you know stuff already.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you can read some of these scriptures in the Bible and think that you know them already, and you already got whatever somebody preached to you about it or whatever the story was that you read. And it kind of dumbs you down to that context of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I always say it's personal. And so you always really got to go in for yourself.
Yeah.
Read it for yourself and see it for yourself.
Then it starts like matching your life, not what someone told you from their perspective.
And that's the point, because it's not this generic thing.
Yeah.
It's not generic where it's just like, you know, it's just, it really is tailored. Your viewpoint, your perspective really tailors it to the life that you live.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, and who you are.
Right.
What you about to say? I saw you look up.
Yeah.
You did like that. I said, that boy get up there. He about to pull that thing down, boy.
I gotta do better, man. I can't
that's you. That's the way you roll, man.
That's not cute. That
No,
you
I
got
can't.
some-
I can't be having giveaways like that to where.
That boy be prompted. I'll be like,
He about to start looking
he
down.
got a thought.
Yeah,
He be like,
I gotta do
You gonna
better.
switch it up and start looking down.
Yeah,
Like,
close his eyes.
I'm real good at disclosing
Let me,
stuff. I'm real good at disclosing stuff, so I don't like the fact that every time I do that, y'all know I'm about to say
Go
something.
ahead.
No, I was just about to say, like, you know, like what you were saying, like, based on, you know, you and, you know, your perspective or whatever, like the way that you read it, like things will stand out to you differently. Because, like, I remember I got this girl reading it on the last cycle, and she, and so, you know, I've read this part, like,
Right.
1,000 times before.
You know when I was laughing? You wonder when I was
Let
laughing?
him get. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. He was like, I got this girl. And I was like, okay, where we going?
Church
No,
bang.
I got no. I got it on.
Nah.
I got it on RedIn30, right?
Right.
And
Okay.
so I didn't read this passage maybe.
Get your girl on
like
RedIn30.
1,000. She not my girl.
All
No,
your
I'm,
girls,
I'm
though.
telling people to get their girl
Everybody
on
get your
RedIn30.
girl
I know,
on
but you can't
RedIn30.
say it right after I say it.
Get your home girl.
This like
on
you can't say
RedIn30.
that. Like you gotta
Get your chick on red. But okay,
I'm
go
so
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead,
This
bro.
I had to censor myself just now because I almost said
I
something.
know what it was. I know. It was in it. Go ahead. I love it. RedIn30. We wildin'. I told you we wildin'. I just said it low. We
No, we
wildin'.
not.
That's maturation right there, man.
Maturation, man.
Continue.
No, and so we read this passage like 1,000 times, right? Maybe 10,000 times. I don't know how many times we read it, but she read it, and I don't know. I'm sure she's heard it. I know she's heard it in church before, but once she actually read it for herself, she got a different take on it. That I had read. I had never looked at it that way, but the part about Jesus being led into the wilderness by the spirit to be tempted of the devil, and so she the way she put it, she said if guys could curve females the same way that Jesus curved the devil in the garden, like
crazy.
relationships would be a whole lot better.
Hey.
But I had never thought about him curving him like
30.
that. I ain't never thought about him curving him
He
like
curved
that.
him.
He curved
He
him.
did.
He like really curved him.
He did.
Yeah.
Like multiple times. But
No exact
and no,
answer, just
because he
curved
was
him.
using scriptures and everything. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna go read that.
But
Well, we
like
gonna
Relationship
read
advice
that.
in the wilderness.
based on her and her viewpoint, she got something different out of it.
I love that.
Kind of talk more to
Right.
her,
Right.
and she got a different take out of
No,
it.
but see, that's what I'm
Like,
talking
all your
about.
experience got something to say. You
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? When you start reading truth like that.
We've dumbed it down and numbed it down by being religious
Yeah.
or making it rules. And so now it's no longer exciting. It's not life.
Yeah.
We almost seem like it doesn't apply to us because it's just some rules that the more people at church be using to try to tell people what to do.
Yeah.
Come on, that's how people
And then
think
they
about it.
pick apart. So you never read what's
You never
above that
read.
part.
They
you
pick
just
the part
like,
that say
you
the
just know
two
that one
words that they
scripture
trying to pound
Yeah.
on to you, and then you just don't get it. That's dope though.
Take that.
But that's the point of it. It's perspective. It's viewpoint. That happened to me one time with a girl that was reading
Yeah, I was thinking
with
about
the branches. And you know the part say, "I'm the vine, you the branch. Any branch is the bad, not fruit. It purges." You know, we always go straight to it. God gonna cut you off if you ain't producing what you're supposed to produce. But what she saw, and I just had them. It was some young people. And I just had them reading it one day, and I just said, "Y'all tell me what y'all got when I come back in." And you know, I love. I really like. I'll be honest. I really like talking about this and about red words and about Jesus with people that have no clue about anything religious, anything church-wise, anything Christianity, or nothing, because you get such a fresh view, and then younger people too, because they're not
they're not caught up in stuff that
they're
we
not trying to
can
do it the way
learn
they're
from
really
it.
looking at it from fresh eyes.
Yeah.
And she was saying, you know, any branch of me that bear not fruit, I cut it off. She was like, that's things in your life. She said anything in your life that's not bearing fruit, he'll cut that off. That's a whole nother thing to me, man.
Yeah, and
So
it
now
made it
instead of
so
me-
positive too.
Well,
It's
yeah,
kinda
because
like,
now I ain't got to worry about getting cut off.
You saying he's going to cut off things in
cut
me.
off for me, yeah. Like any
bearing
relationships,
fruit.
any things I'm trying to do that's not bearing fruit,
Start pruning it.
he gonna cut them off, man. Like that's huge.
Yeah.
It's perspective. Been reading it forever.
And she was like 15.
Yeah. She was like,
Yeah.
she's like 15 at the time. 15, 16, no, about 15 at the time. And it's like, whoa, like, and then I also learned that you can learn from anybody.
Yeah.
True.
The actual key to learning is humility. The key to learning is knowing that you don't know nothing. You get what I'm saying? Never get to the point to where you know everything and you can learn from anybody. How like you learn from children?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you I'm the adult. You know, and we never some big kids.
Yeah.
We big kids with
I'm like 13.
grown bodies. You know what I'm saying? It's just, we got facial hair and stuff now.
Technically.
You know, it's just like, but we
Yeah,
never big kids, man, with jobs and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
we're just big
Recently,
kids.
we
man.
were saying how we don't
responsibility.
give kids enough. We don't give kids enough credit for what they can learn.
Yeah,
We
we
were
don't.
saying that
We
recently,
don't.
like-
We don't. We really.
We still talk to them like kids instead of just talking to them
Like humans.
and listening to them. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
And we know there's different, perspectives and different levels of things that people can handle, man. But still, giving them the information that they can have a fresh viewpoint on it.
Instead of saying they can't understand.
Yeah, your viewpoint is everything, man. Because if you don't look at things the proper way, or give yourself a new way to look at it, you never have a new progress, a new output of it, a new manifestation of it. And so, we've just got to change just the way that we think about things.
Yeah.
I think that's what dude is all about. Does it do Jesus?
Yeah. Hey.
No, I think
Y'all know who we talking about.
Yeshua, the name Yeshua is Jesus, like Yeshua, Joshua. It really means like he who saves. And I really think he's saving your perspective.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? He's saving you from looking at it the other way to saving your eyes to be able to see it the way God will see it. Now that's a good question. So if I ask that question, well, how does God see things?
Yep.
Right? Like, problems, issues, whatever.
Changes everything.
How does God see it? That I'm gonna take it back to that I am one with God. That's huge.
Right.
It changed me. It changed my mind because now I'm not seeing from my weak self by myself. But I'm really looking at it from a different perspective.
And then we be in our feelings too. When God's looking at something from above, he's seeing everything at once, and we're just seeing our little small, world, our friends. We think that's everything, and it's not. Like, he got something else going on. To me, a really good example, if anyone has seen The Shack, either the movie or read the book, but that really teaches you about God's perspective or God's eye on things, how totally different it is from ours. Have you ever seen it?
I have.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
tough.
a good movie.
Yeah, and it's tough. It's tough because the situation was very, very tough. But even in the midst of it, the sovereignty of God had a plan.
Yeah.
And it's hard to see that. I was talking to a homeboy today, and I'm glad I was able to talk to him because he got in an accident a couple of days ago, head-on collision. And he had to get some pins in his foot, and close a wound in his foot, and pins in his pelvis, and different things of that nature. And, we prayed for the other family. Whoever was in the other car ended up dying in the wreck. And so it was a pretty serious thing. But I called him because I heard it this morning. I called him today, and I said, man, I'm just happy to hear your voice. I'm glad you're good. You know what I'm saying? I know you're hurting right now, but I'd rather be hurting than nothing else. You know what I'm saying? And then I told him, I said, but just remember that this is not, don't think of punishment, but think of a process. And everybody's got a process.
Yep.
We don't see it that way because we think everything is about us, and we think that everything is going to be whatever way that the cookie-cutter mindset of society has told us it's going to be.
Yeah.
But truth of the matter is, everything is a process. And if you would embrace the process, then you get processed. Most of us are unprocessed. Most of us are we're not mature. We're not developed because we keep rebuking the process. Like the thing that you deal with is the process.
It goes back to that pressure episode.
Yeah.
Reminds me of that. Yeah.
It is the thing that's processing you. You get it?
Yep.
And so you can look at it two ways. You can look at it as a problem, or you can look at it as a process. Truth of the matter is, there are no problems.
Say that again.
Now that's crazy, and be like,
I think there's one problem.
Huh?
I think there's one problem.
What's the problem?
Ignorance.
Ignorance, right? right.
Yeah, the only problem is your problem.
But see, watch this.
That's you.
The problem is ignorance. But if I look at it as a problem, okay, cool. Oh, ignorant. You know?
Hey.
But when I see it, as a process, then I realize that I did go there. I realized I'm wilding, y'all.
Oh, Lord.
I'm wilding. Someone said now, hey, y'all, you know what? I'm wilding. But if you look at ignorance is always an opportunity. That's another one. So there's no opposition. There's no such thing as opposition. Everything is opportunity. Now you can feel how you want to feel about that, and it's going to be one of those things that'll shake people, because we've been trained so long to hold on to what we think we know, and we want to be right, and we want to be smart. So we'll say, no, they got opposition. We just turn the
They
opposition
want that
to
too, though.
opportunity. Yeah.
Opposition is kind of like think about a movie. We crave the opposition. We kind of like
We always want an
crave that in
antagonist,
every
right.
story. News is the way it is because we like that.
Right. That's
You
why
know?
people like reality shows. The mess, the drama, the whatever it is, right?
So you tell me it's all good. It's kind of like,
Right.
Nah.
But and that doesn't mean that there's no friction. It doesn't mean there's no pressure. Like that is what makes the journey fun. Depends on how you're looking at it, though.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
The seeming opposition right? Depending on how I look at it and how I see myself. How I see myself first, and then how I see it determines what it is to me. You get what I'm saying? How I see myself. So that's good perspective. How I see myself, right? So how do I see myself? Right? Those are the questions.
Yeah.
How do I see myself? How do I define myself? What is myself? If, like, you know who you are. Like, if you know who you are, like, I know. Okay, what is that? Where did that come from? Right? Like, what built that concept of myself in me? You know, we can go from childhood, how we were raised,
parents, friends,
schools, relationships, different things like that. Right, different things that we've taken in, right? Watch relationship, relationship, right? Relationship, what we watched, you know what I'm saying? What we listened to.
Get your girl on RedIn30.
Get your girl on RedIn30.
Bro,
get your girl on RedIn30. Hey,
if they won't get on RedIn30, then they ain't for you, bro.
They ain't for you, bro. Nah, they ain't real.
They not, dog.
If they ain't gonna do RedIn30 with you one time round, they ain't real. You heard me?
Check them out.
Two times round. You heard me? You hear me? I chew it. They ain't doing RedIn30 with you. They ain't real. You heard me?
She ain't about that life.
I'm hollering to the homies in the room. You heard me? She ain't about that life.
Ladies, get your man on RedIn30 too. I know we got women watching.
Of course. Church baby.
Oh, of course we do.
Hey.
His whole audience is watching.
Hey, don't be talking.
And if that's the case,
don't be talking.
Hey, get old boy, old boo.
See, let me teach. Let me teach y'all something right now. I'm looking to the camera. I'm gonna teach you something right now. See, we're talking about perspective. Now, see, the perspective is that they're watching because of this. Zoom in, swag right there.
Wait.
They're watching because of this. See, you got the wrong perspective. Look at the camera. Let them see your face.
No, you have the wrong perspective.
Let them see your face. No, you have the wrong perspective. See, you think they watching because of me. They're not watching because of me.
They are.
Watching because of you.
They are.
No, they're watching because of you. It's you. Look at the camera. Go ahead. I know you want to do it. I'm about to black.
I ain't gonna do it.
Hey.
I ain't gonna do it.
I ain't gonna do it.
If you're watching this, let us know why you came to RedIn30.
Bro, like, what?
For which one did you
For
show?
Jesus. Yeshua.
Yeshua.
Hey.
I know somebody gonna say Jesus. They gonna be scared of that. But why you really came?
Hey. Go ahead. I'm one with God. I'm gonna jump back in.
So that's who they here for.
God. Yeah, they're here for God. They're here for God. So you ain't one with God?
I am.
All right.
Oh my God. Anyway, opportunity, boy. Opportunity. So
we wild.
So we oh my God, it's too fun, though. We wild. Hey, so perspective, right?
Right.
So how I see myself is how I see everything else. Can we say that? All right. What's the greatest law in the commandment? Great law and the commandment. Yeah. Come on.
Love the Lord God.
God with all your heart, your mind, your soul, right?
Yes.
Y'all was like, what is the greatest law?
I thought you were about to say.
No, what's the second? What's the second part?
Love yourself.
Love
your neighbor.
So we take that as a basic principle. Then whatever I do to my neighbor, I do it as I do to myself. But I got to do myself first, right? So that means whatever I see outside, I got to see me first. Well, I've got to see God.
I think it's one sight though.
It's all one sight.
Yeah.
But Jesus had to break it down in steps because everybody wants steps.
Yeah.
And that's perspective.
Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me do that.
Because they got the perspective. The perspective he's always had is it takes steps. When in actuality, the process is one.
Yeah.
It's one motion. It's one move. You get it? That simplifies things. But now, when I see myself one with God, so I'm one with God. Can we say that? I'm one with God.
I'm one with God.
Now, if you're watching, say that I'm one with God right now. I didn't say it. I didn't make that up. I'm not coming up with some crazy thing. That's what Jesus said. He prayed for that. That's what he was looking for. Go. You're looking up.
No, I was trying to figure it out in Spanish, but I think it's Yo soy uno Dios. El Dios. Señor.
Say it with us in Spanish.
I ain't better say that right now. We don't know if
Yo
it's the right
soy
way.
uno Dios.
Can we get some? Can we get a search? Can we get a search on Google?
Dios.
I am one with God in Spanish.
Oh, I forgot the with part.
Yo.
That was I'm one God.
Come to find out, scratch it. You got somebody in me call saying it just like that.
I am one God. I am one God.
I'm not. What is it?
Soy uno con Dios.
Soy uno con Dios.
Yeah.
Soy uno con Dios for all of our.
Because you don't have to say yo soy. You can just say soy. It means the same thing.
So it was right, the same thing. So you wasn't saying I am one
Thank
God?
you for the lesson.
No, I was saying I am one God. I just forgot the with.
Right. So because of that, right, then it changes my perspective on me. So it's not about my weaknesses, my shortcomings, my failures, my fears, my worries, because we all have them.
Yeah.
True or not true?
True.
But now I translate that. I've taken it off myself, and I'm now one with God. And then I begin to see not only my neighbor, but everything that's around me, right, with that same perspective.
Right.
So it's like dope, because RedIn30, when I slow down and I really start to pay attention to it, I put myself in the story. It doesn't work unless you put yourself in.
Yeah.
It doesn't work unless you use your imagination, all right? Imagination, right? It doesn't work unless you use your imagination and you see what's actually going on. That's been the biggest trick. You read it as rules, you read it as steps in a rule book, and you don't realize that you're in the movie, bro.
Yeah.
Right? So now when you put yourself in there, your perspective change. Like just imagine, use your imagination for a quick minute, and just imagine whatever story. Pick a story. Go 1, 2, 3, go. Somebody pick one.
Joseph and the coat of many colors.
All right, coat of many colors. All right, boom. Right? Now we're talking about Joseph, coat of many colors. Now it depends on what
about
part.
the gospel stories.
Yeah, he that boy went the Joseph. We like the color, right?
You said, think of a story.
All right.
That's the first one. Hey, Joe like to do that. Go. Be like, wait,
But it's real.
I have to come back though. When you say go, I go. I just do
You
a
gotta
blank.
find it. Yeah,
She go in.
I gotta come
Hey,
back.
hey,
Go in.
Hey, you gotta be a thinker. You gotta be a goer. I'm a goer. Hey, you gotta be ready to go. Go. Huh? But you didn't say nothing. But you didn't say nothing.
That's how your response is.
No,
But
she didn't
it's the
say
same
that.
response.
No, it's the last thing that
It's the
was
same
said.
What? She didn't say nothing.
No,
though.
you said it though.
What I said.
You said pick a story.
But
go.
she didn't say it right before that.
I
If
know,
she said
but-
pick a story, go.
No,
I'm
it's the
on
last
you.
But you see,
I'm on yo.
No,
But
you did it to us, so she was just flipping and doing it to you.
But she didn't say nothing before though.
She
I
was
know.
going off of what you said.
But guess what?
I didn't know she was going off of that.
Bro,
Jeremiah,
you did,
you know
bro.
what, though,
That's why you.
Do it. I'm ready now. Do
No,
it.
you thinking about it now.
Already.
That's like somebody like, come on, I'm about to freestyle. You go first.
Exactly.
They get their whole rap in
Bars
their
are
head.
flying in the trees. Look at the beat. That boy's on a hip, a hop, a hip, a hip.
How about you don't stop?
Okay, so Joseph, cool, many colors, right?
Yeah.
It depends on what part of the story you on, right? Use your imagination. We're here. We're in the imagination.
Yeah.
Clearly, we're in the desert somewhere.
There.
Because it got to be in the Middle East somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Joseph, we don't know what color he is. We're just going to pick a color. What color was he? Black. All right, he's a black guy.
Might as
So
well.
now, he's a little brown. Had to be all that sun, right? So Joseph out there, coat of many colors, right? Now, we don't know how many colors it was, but it had a lot of them, right? But depending on that story.
Coogee sweater.
Coochie sweater, right.
Okay.
Coochie sweater, Biggie. Coochie sweater, right? So watch this. So now, if you drop yourself into that story, you know, you can drop yourself in and say, you got the coat on, right?
Yep.
You Joseph.
Yep.
But now when you Joseph, you got to realize what you're waiting for now. You got to realize what you're about to expect.
Yeah.
Because you got the coat of many colors. Yeah, you dope. You fresh right now. But because you're fresh right now, envy's coming. And because envy comes, now you're going to be put in a pit.
The pit come, yeah.
Here comes the pit. Right? But it gives perspective.
Yep.
Right? Now we can fly all the way, we can fast forward all the way to being second in command in Egypt, right? But all that process.
They got a lot. They got a lot of process.
There's a lot of process, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
ups and downs, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so perspective does everything. And so when I
Yeah.
read the gospel,
See,
I
my
drop
story
myself.
was good, girl.
Yeah.
It
I
was a
thought
good
it
story.
was great.
It's a dope story. It's a dope story. And so now,
Oh, because I said Old Testament, but yeah, it was good.
Old Testament
Hey,
gospels.
go ahead, man.
Hey,
Old
they got
Testament
some good
gospels.
stories in Old Testament.
No, they got some good stories
Amen.
everywhere, and it's really about
Yeah.
us. All of it's about us.
Yeah.
Every single bit of it. You know what I'm saying? But we just got to bring it all the way back.
Even the characters that you don't like,
Even the ones
that's
you don't
you
like.
too.
That's you too.
Right.
Get yourself.
As you, all as
That's
you.
you too.
No, not that part. I don't want that
You
part.
trying to be the
I
main
don't
character,
receive
though. You
that,
might be
but-
the personal.
I don't receive that. No.
Hey, some of y'all the brothers.
Some of y'all the brothers. Some
Hey,
of y'all
some of
the
y'all the
sellers.
brothers.
Selling people out into slavery. Some of y'all are. Find yourself.
Find yourself.
Right?
Yep.
So now we drop in the gospel. So for me, I drop in and I see perspective and I find out where I'm at. Right? And then when I find out where I'm at, I can kind of look around in the vicinity and see what's going on. And it changes everything about how I see it.
Yep.
And so now, it's RedIn30, right?
Yep.
RedIn30 is studying the Gospels, right? It's read
Yep.
words. So there's story after story where perspective was the difference between how everything came out. Crazy, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let me say two things before we get into this part. And I'm going to say them again so we can shake people up, but we just have to say it till you believe it. There is no opposition, only opportunity. Y'all want to repeat it?
There is no opposition, only opportunity.
Only opportunity.
Okay. Everybody in the room repeating? Okay. There is no opposition.
There is no opposition.
Only opportunity.
Only opportunity.
Right? And then there are no problems.
There are no problems.
Only the process.
Only the process.
All right. Now, if you think of it that way, we've learned opposition and problems. Most of us live our lives based off of that. Problem solving, right?
Yeah.
Right? Or they say, well, what's the answer to a problem? A solution, right? Or that's an answer, right? But no, because that's only fixing something that was there already before. So it's really not moving forward. It's just fixing something that was broken that might have been fixed with something else that was broken. But when you realize it's a process, there's no loss.
Yeah.
You can't lose in the process.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You can.
It's perpetual.
Yeah, it's perpetual. It keeps going. It keeps moving forward. And so opportunities.
And it's always working on something or towards something.
Yep.
So it's not just like for nothing.
Once
you know what I'm
once you
saying?
solve that problem,
Right.
now you need another
Now
one.
you going to the next problem.
Yeah.
Send me another problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's not what it's about. It's steps and processes. Just like everything is an opportunity.
Yeah.
I like the word opportunity because what was the word? Yeah, it's cool. Etymology. Did we do it
It's
last
our
time?
word of the day.
I think
We're
we
gonna
did.
use it. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, opportunity.
I don't think so. I think we hadn't done one in a while.
And we ain't doing it last time, so yeah, it's dope.
Hey, you off your job, bro?
I really think we did one last time.
I don't
We're ready
remember.
or not? Anyway, now that we're here, we're not
We
talking
are.
about the past.
Uh-oh.
In the present.
Opportunity. So op means in front of, like AB.
If you know, then you know.
This is the phrase that it comes from. It means in front of or toward, and then port. So opportunity. Port is for what we know as like a harbor, and so it's like in front of a harbor or coming toward a harbor. I mean a port.
What's the year they get on that? What year was it? It says it probably at the top. The
Late
year.
14th century.
Yeah, I was about to say that because
13th century is.
Yeah,
I think that one's for 14.
Yeah, historically, ports were the place of increase and a place to be able to spread things out because
merchant.
you bring your merchants.
Oh,
you
you're
bring
in front
things
of
into the port.
receiving. Yeah.
Yeah, you bring things to the port. You send things out to the port. When you're shipping goods and different things, that's where the money exchange was.
Yeah.
It was the ports. You know, we were talking about that yesterday. We were
So-
somewhere and we were talking about is really what it was, Port Vincent. Is Port Vincent really a port? Like they got water. We was talking about that yesterday, like Port Allen and all that. But ports, that's where that stuff goes in now, the shipping and the trade. So that's why it was seen as like a forward opportunity.
Yeah,
It was
you're saying,
forward.
yeah,
I
you're
broke it
coming
down.
toward receiving something. But
at the
no,
port.
and also like for what we know about it now as convenient or something being suitable, that's why. Because it's convenient,
Seasonal.
it's basically coming to you.
Right,
And you're standing there receiving it. You're not having to like do work.
right. And I like that it was op, port, and then the last part is unity.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's dope. To me, I see opportunity as standing in front of something good coming to or front of you as one. That's cool, ain't it? Like opportunity, being of one mind, one with God. I am one with God.
And
right?
usually though, you are receiving something because you're in it's a joint relationship when you're receiving something at a port.
Right, it's connection. What'd you
Yeah.
say?
Huh?
Soy uno con Dios.
This
So
translation.
that's right.
Soy uno con Dios.
Soy uno con Dios.
Soy uno con Dios.
He said it
Con
like,
Dios.
of
Soy uno
course.
con Dios.
Yeah,
Con
you gotta
Dios.
say it quicker so it sounds like
Say-
you know what you're
say it,
saying.
do it, do it.
Soy uno con Dios.
Soto. That's how you say Soto con Dios.
No, soy uno con Dios.
Oh, that's what's up. You sound like you.
This
you
Soy
know,
uno con
you know,
Dios. Soy
you
uno
know.
con Dios.
Right. I'm one with God. And so now that's my opportunity. So now if I'm one with God, then I see everything as an opportunity. So I don't see the opposition. So I don't see. Well, I'm gonna tell you. I'll give you a good one. You want a good one? What Jesus said to do with your enemies?
Pray for him.
Because it's an opportunity. You pray, you request, you introspect for your enemies. Why? Because it's an
Yeah.
opportunity to turn an enemy into a
Friend.
and a friend is what? I know what you're doing. I don't call you servants, but I call you
Yeah.
friends. Because the servant don't know what the master's doing, but the friends knows everything. Ah, that's cool, man. It's opportunity.
Yeah.
But he's got, so now Jesus has this perspective. There is no opposition. There's only opportunity. There is no problem. There's only the process. You want to go through some stores?
Yeah, let's
You want
go.
to go through some stores? You want to pick some, or y'all want me to throw some out? What you want to pick some stores
Let's
in the
go
gospel? Come
to the money in the fish mouth for taxes.
The money in the fish mouth
ooh,
for Texas. The money in the fish mouth for Texas. You got one?
I can pick anyone.
In the gospels.
Oh.
That girl's about to
We'll
say,
give her a
in
second.
the beginning, can I pick anyone? Revelation says the angel with the
my.
14 heads had the.
Like,
Revelation.
Well, we'll go with that one. What you said?
The paying your taxes with the
I paying your taxes, so now it's tax time. You
not
ready?
taking money out. He did not take money out of the treasury.
Right, he didn't take money because they had a treasury. So
Yep.
Jesus kept a treasury, right? But he says, no. He said, do this. He said, I want you to go cast a hook, take a fish, the first fish you catch. It's going to be a piece of money in the mouth. Go pay our taxes. Normally, you wouldn't see that. Y'all know tax season come around.
Opposition.
Opposition. The IRS. Now, what people don't understand is that taxes ought to take care of all the stuff that you enjoy, like lines on the road and paved roads and traffic lights. And when you go to, you want the police to come and look out for you, like taxes take care of those things. Sometimes I'm not sure.
We don't want the cops to go.
Right, but sometimes I'm not sure if we didn't have a regulation, everybody would pitch in.
Why are you smiling?
I'm about to say something.
Oh my God.
No, I know people that look at tax season as an opportunity.
Oh, I did too. Yeah, claiming
that's
it.
good.
Boy, it's time to get a new car.
Yeah, bro.
Ah,
Spend the whole
tax
check,
season.
boy.
Boy, it's vacation time, boy.
Spend that whole refund, boy.
Hey.
Spend that whole refund. You know what I'm saying?
It's an
But
opportunity.
opportunity. They look at it as nothing but opportunity. Like, you got kids? Let me put them
man.
kids on my. Let me
If
put
you
them
got
opportunities
kids.
on my the
Four,
claim on them
five
opportunities.
opportunities if
I'm
you
saying,
got kids.
you claiming that child right there? Can I claim him?
Let me claim him.
Right. But they get a lick for claiming the children too. And so, come on, all right, so that's dope. So now you see it as it could be something that's taking, like, oh man, I gotta take something away, or you see an opportunity to do something miraculous.
Oh, I have a good example.
Go.
That's never been done before.
When he raised Lazarus.
Never been done before. Right.
When he raised Lazarus from the dead.
Right.
Opposition. First of all, he came some days late.
Came some days later.
Martha, Mary. Who
I
came
don't know
meet
which
him
one
first?
it was. I don't remember.
One of them, he was saying, if you believe, you'll see.
Resurrect. You see the
So
resurrection.
this is her opportunity. He's
Right.
like, I'm going to raise him because it's an
That's Mary?
opportunity. Mary?
She said, yeah, he was like, you believe you see the resurrection. She said, oh, yeah, I know it's going to be the resurrection in that day that we prophesied.
No, he said, no, I am the resurrection. If you
yeah.
believe, you'll see. But no, something else. But right towards the end, when he was about to do it, she said something else. I got to go back and see it. But that's when he
I
was
know-
like, didn't I say if you believe,
Yeah.
you'll see?
And I know he said something so that the Father be glorified.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this will be so the Father be glorified. I know that because it's an opportunity versus a opposition.
Yeah.
Pick another. You got one?
Well, I was gonna go back to the what's that guy?
You about to go back to Genesis?
No, nah. When you said it though, I thought about the Shunammite woman, but I was like,
Oh, yeah.
no. But the centurion, I thought about the centurion.
Yeah. Right. Opposition.
Perfect.
Servant is sick. They got to go a ways off. He coming to get Jesus, right? Sick to where he's about to die, right?
Yeah.
And then even that whole story, which we did the centurion factor, so it was centurion. I don't know if it's called centurion factor, but centurion, whatever it was, right?
Oh, my God.
But we did that, but it was an opportunity for him to see something differently, and even the way that he
I think
responded.
that was the big idea.
The big idea,
Yeah.
yeah. Because he saw it as an he actually had to see it as an opportunity for something different to happen.
Yeah.
For even him to tell Jesus, you don't have to come all the way over here. Speak to something that had never been
Done
before.
Yep.
It's always opportunities. Jesus was doing stuff that had never been done before. Everybody wants to be a revolutionary and an innovator and different things of that nature, but you can't really innovate in the same space. You can't innovate without an innovative mind or a new thought or a thought that hadn't been thought before.
Right.
Like you have to see the absence of something as a space for something.
I love that broken down like that.
Y'all
yeah.
get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, so you can see land and be like, oh man, it's land. But if you can have a vision, you can see an opportunity to build something there. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
An opportunity
Yeah.
versus an opposition. You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, come on, let's go another one. Pick another one. I got a bunch of them in my head, but y'all go.
Well, I got one, but I got another one too.
Go, let's go
based
for it.
on
Come
what
on.
we're talking about right now. I'm going back to Genesis. I thought about it this morning.
Okay.
Like in the beginning, like when the world was, void
Hey,
without
bro.
form.
Hey.
Like that was an opportunity.
That's an opportunity.
Oh, man,
and
that's
he saw
good.
it. God at the actual beginning, it was void
I love
and
it.
without form. They called it chaos. Another version
Yeah.
called it chaos. Like it was just nothing was together.
That's
nothing was in
innovative.
order. What?
That's innovative.
That's the innovator. Like that's it.
Hey.
And he sees something
You
that's
just see
out of order,
blackness.
that's nothing, and
Yeah.
makes a beautiful. And then not only that, but makes life.
Yep. I forgot about the chaos part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It was chaos.
Yeah.
And so he took chaos right?
Splitting the land and the water.
And made it a construction.
Come on now.
That's huge, man.
Yeah.
That's huge. You know what I'm saying? So how do you see it, though?
Mm-hmm.
I remember hearing a man preach one time, and he was like, we talking about the importance of words. He was a great preacher. I ain't gonna call his name. But he was set it up. He was like,
say his name.
No, he was like, what if in the beginning your word is something? But what if in the beginning, God said, let there be light, and there was. He said, what if in the beginning God looked over that chaos and that darkness, and he was setting us up. He said he saw everything, and what if he looked up and said, damn, it's dark.
It was going to be black.
He said, I wonder what life would be like. And we all looked at him like this. He said on live TV, I was like, but it was hilarious, man.
Yeah.
But it was just saying perspective. God has this perspective. And I'm one with, what's in Spanish? How's it in Spanish?
Soy uno con Dios.
Yeah, so uno con Dios, right?
Okay.
And so because I'm one with God, when I see things, I don't see chaos, right? But I see construction. I see building.
I got a story for you.
Go.
Which I wouldn't even see this as a... You did?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Okay. So I'm thinking we don't usually
No, I do
see
got
this
one.
as a story.
I got one.
But
I'm going to need less of you.
Judas. Oh, what now?
I had to.
That's your chance. You got your chance.
Judas.
He knew from the beginning. You know, there's one part when he says, like, I already know one of you are the devil.
Wow. Yeah,
So he knew from the beginning, like, before that Last Supper.
He picked
that
him. Right.
Yeah,
So-
he did.
And
yeah.
so to me, keeping Judas around could have been opposition, but he saw opportunity because it was
'Cause
a
somebody's got to do it.
pathway to what had to happen.
yeah.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
That's cool. Opportunity. That's cool. Opportunity.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
All about perspective change, like just changing the way. And I don't know, like now that I know this, I'm developing myself to just try to. I'm brainwashing myself because I'm trying to. I know that we've been instilled with fear and worry and concern and angst and you better do this before this time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you better have this, and we've been so ingrained with this in almost every aspect of our lives, from our religious, Christian upbringing, sometimes even school to everything. We're so concerned and worried that I'm trying to brainwash myself from the fact of just trying to do stuff to fix things or whatever, to realize that everything is an opportunity. And what this does for me is, as it did with Jesus and does with me, because that's what he was showing me, it brings the ability of God out of me.
That's true.
Because I see opportunity.
Yeah.
So now I start to, not only do I see opportunity, but now because I believe opportunity, I believe I'm one with God, so I see things differently. So I not only do I see things differently, but I'll say things differently. So now I begin to speak from a place of opportunity versus rehearsing the opposition. And we said something just a while ago, and then we're going to get to your story, next story.
That's cool.
And I'm not going to get into this because I said I wasn't going to do it. But even like we were talking about all the stuff we were talking about today.
What were we talking about today?
We were talking about. Well, no, I'm going to say it, but I'm not going to stay on it long. So y'all keep
Oh, wait, hold on.
But-
Wait, hold on.
We all
right.
we all went. We go to time on.
I mean,
We all
looking at
had
the
a chance. People usually don't come to Baton Rouge. The big
all.
artists. They would
At
skip
all,
over to
right.
New Orleans, but we had the opportunity to go to Sunday service with Kanye. Kanye Sunday service in Baton Rouge on Friday. All three of us went, and some others went, and it was legit dope.
Oh, God.
Like it was just it had no
Fire.
ulterior motive.
It was lit like
It was
a
lit.
light.
like a light.
Hey,
We lit.
and the singing was spectacular. Like, I
The
mean,
sound, everything was top notch.
Beautifully
And they threw it together in like 2
executed.
days.
Yeah.
So it was dope.
It was good.
But there are those that are self-righteous, and they are they're self-righteous and they don't believe, and they think that grace is only for certain people. And then I hear people saying something like somebody like Kanye.
Talk
but I was
about
like,
it.
I'm like, who is somebody like Kanye? What does that mean?
Right.
Like that's almost like saying you people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I call somebody some niggas. Like you niggas. Like you know what I'm saying? Like in my mind, I feel the same way. I feel that degrading, and so somebody like him, no, somebody like you, somebody like yo, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and so, but nevertheless, of course, now people talking about the politics stuff like that, and today I read some comments and saw some things.
Did you?
I did, and
We-
immediately,
yeah, I
and
read the
immediately, see, I had to get back to one with God. But at the first part of the conversation, I wasn't one. I was on one. So because I was on one, I was kind of like spewing it out. Then I sent a couple tweets out. I said a couple things on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then I said, I'm wasting my time, because then I came back to myself, to my true self, and I realized these people are a small speck in the reality of what matters in the world.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're the same people that's going to, I want to say one of the word, but I'm going to say this, nag. But you know the word I want to use, right? Nag and moan, but they...
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same people that's going to, they're going to do that about anything that's not them.
Yeah.
Anything that's not them and
Or doesn't
not who they
agree
are, or
with
doesn't
what
agree
they
with
have. Like, some people are very stuck in their
perspective.
point of view. Exactly. They're
Stuck in
so
their
stuck
vision.
in their point of view that you are controlled. Like,
Yeah.
you're the person
you don't even know
controlled
it.
by your small, like,
And you don't
point of
even know
view, opinion. Don't let your opinion control you.
And
It's an opinion.
Somebody commented on the thing
You
and
know what
said,
I'm saying? Like,
somebody,
it's controlling your relationships with other people, your everything.
somebody commented on one part of it and it was like, well, you know, you can name all them people you're talking about, but people in the streets don't know them, but they know you. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Right.
so you can complain about whatever, nobody knows you. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things. So it becomes a small speck, and so
Right.
perspective brings you back to be like, because if you can get caught up in that, and I made a promise at the time that I wasn't going to speak. I'm speaking on it now for subject's sake, but I wasn't going to speak on it no more, because you get so caught up on you can get caught up on other people's narrow point of view that you begin to waste your creativity.
Yeah.
Battling their inability
You
to
stuck
progress.
on the
Did you hear the
exactly.
statement?
Yep.
You waste your creativity battling their inability to progress.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it one more time. You waste your creativity battling their inability to progress. We do that a lot.
A lot.
And so perspective is everything. And when I come to myself, then I realize, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Truly.
I could really like throw some dope points and really like throw a dope debate, and I really have some real good points, and it still wouldn't change a thing.
It wouldn't, because the mind, because of the viewpoint,
It's stuck.
It's
It'll
fixed.
never look.
It's stuck. It's
It's
fixed.
fixed. So
It's
It's
so
fixed.
fixed.
It's fixed. So there's no growth. There's no nothing.
It's weird how they don't see how that's not growth.
Yeah.
How they see
They need to get on RedIn30.
they don't want that.
somebody.
They don't want that.
Somebody.
They don't want that.
No,
They
they gonna
they
be
want
stuck
to be
on-
stuck.
But
and
they won't go to
stubborn.
heaven, though.
They want to be stuck and stubborn.
They won't go to heaven, though. Ain't that something? Lord, depart me. I never knew you. Hey, so I didn't say it.
Oh,
So I did say
man.
it. So
I'm about to say you
I
actually
actually did say
definitely
it. I
said
did say it. And I believe it, too. So perspective.
Uh-huh.
So
So you want to talk
change-
about it some more? Or you done with
Not
it?
that. I'm done with
You-
that.
all right.
I'm finished with that
Awesome.
part. I just was saying, she said it earlier about how we make such a big deal about things that are really not a deal at all.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like when you make
And
a
you gotta
big
control
deal,
that. Yeah.
when you make a deal out of something,
You gotta deal with it.
but you got to deal with it. Come on now. Come on, give me something.
Give me something.
Come on. But then also, usually making a deal is when you connecting and shaking hands. So now you're deciding to deal
Yep.
with this, and you
not
connecting
worth
with it. It's not worth it, man. Like,
not.
so I've been brainwashing myself.
Trick,
In a
To
good
see-
way.
trick your mind.
Yeah, trick your mind. Trick my mind. That's a great one, Jay. I love it. I went back to tricking your mind. It's so
Wait,
trick
back
your
to
mind.
what?
Nothing.
Back to what?
It's for another time.
It's for no other time. We will never talk about tricking your mind.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
See
though.
them put
It's not that serious.
together some stuff.
Hey,
It's
so,
not- it's
so
not that big a deal.
You said you had another story, right?
Oh yeah. I had I thought about it because I know a lot of times like we be thinking, and we go from stories from a certain perspective. So I wanted to flip and do another perspective.
Flip.
About an opportunity,
Flip.
right? And so now I want to talk about the opportunity to expound on the opportunity to expound on the
Boy,
opportunity of
I'm
Jesus
about to say these words, boy.
when he
Expound.
came to the figless fig tree.
Yeah, right.
Ah.
Dope. All right.
That's a different kind of opportunity.
That's a difficult opportunity because it was supposed to
I like that.
bear fruit for him, right? And it to me, when I read it, he said he answered it. He answered the tree.
Right.
Now we all know trees don't well, but we all know trees
Alice in
don't really.
Wonderland.
They don't really be out here like yapping or whatever they speak, but they don't. You're right. So, but he said he answered it. You read it clearly. Say he answered it. And so obviously this thing was saying no, you're not gonna eat. No, you're not gonna do it. And it said the time of figs wasn't there.
Right.
Which means I know that I'm one with God. And so I know that my oneness with God supersedes time and season. So that means I am the promised land. right? I am the moment. I am destiny, right? I am the destination. So when I get there, it's supposed to go down.
Yeah.
When I get there, it changes. I don't care what the clock was set on. When I got there, it's time to start.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's time for it to go. And now you get to the tree, and I'm one with God, and I'm hungry. Yeah. So when I'm hungry, it's time to eat. And you telling me no? Well, die, because you have no longer purpose. You get it? Oh, I didn't get it. It wasn't even time for the figs. No, you're missing the point. We're not talking about time. We're talking about God. And if I allow this perspective, we there?
Yeah.
If I allow this to tell me what I can and cannot do, it would crush everything else that I can and will do.
Yep.
Everything after that would have been crushed. Right?
That's like, because the same way he was able to walk on water, it's like he's saying, I need to walk on, I'm gonna walk, so I'm not gonna drown.
So
like
water.
He's making the water change
Water.
to fit him, what he needs at
Just
the moment.
like water.
Stop. That
We
face.
are water.
Like a newborn.
Like a
Okay.
newborn daughter.
You always
Jesus,
off.
excuse me. Jesus, I'm just playing.
First of all,
You
don't give me
always
no
off.
singing lessons,
No.
Jeremiah.
No, I'm not even talking about your singing. I'm talking
oh.
about your timing. I'm talking about your rhythm.
Your rhythm.
It was off.
Back to what I was trying to say.
Water. We are water.
mute your
You
mic,
said the
girl.
water.
No,
What
I'm
you said
saying
the
it's
water?
the same. It's the same way he was able to do that or stop the storm. It's the same way.
What? Let's start.
We really can't let what we say nature is. At the end of the day, if we do believe we're one with God, then nature will still conform to what we expect or need at the moment.
Right.
But I don't know if we're even ready for that type of dominion, really. You know what I'm saying? That's why he was able to walk on water or curse the fig tree.
Yeah.
Because what would the seasons? We would say the seasons are more in control than we are.
Right. And we go by the seasons rather than the seasons go by us. And let me tell you something. I think that the water part, I'm gonna go to water and then we'll go with the winds and the waves and all that stuff, right? Like to me, so viewpoint, perspective, right?
Yeah.
You see water, there's several things water can do, but one of the things at that time I didn't know, there was no tank proof, shout out twins, so that means people don't know how to swim, right? So usually probably if you fell in the water, or maybe they did know, but most times probably.
But how we know they didn't know to swim?
Well, I don't know, because I know Peter panicked. He didn't think about swimming at all.
Yeah.
That boy was like, I'm drowning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just assuming that maybe people didn't develop, or maybe it wasn't as widespread. It ain't as widespread now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
But they got
Right.
people in here that can't swim?
Huh?
They got people in here that can't swim?
I
huh?
don't know.
They have people in here that can't swim?
Back to the story.
You can't swim?
No.
Son, you still ain't learn how to swim yet? Son,
We are water.
Dog, my eyes are tearing. Why would you?
No, listen to me. You are 38 years old.
Oh,
31.
oh my God. You're 46 and you
And you can't swim, girl? I'm calling a
Why
twins
38
tonight.
the worst number, though, dog?
Oh my God. 38 is not the
dog?
worst number.
Okay, my man, dog.
Shut the hell up.
You
38,
You're
baby.
not 38, though, bruh.
I know.
Are we saying ages right now?
We are water.
Hey, we are water. So walk on the water.
Almost.
So you
We
see
almost.
water. You see water, and you can see it as ability to drown or sink.
Nikhil.
Jesus sees. Jesus sees.
I'm learning next.
What Nakia see versus what Jesus sees.
This next
Jesus.
word. In this
Jesus.
story, I would be Peter.
Jesus, help me, Jesus.
Honestly, I would have never stepped out.
Y'all would say you're a level lower than Peter.
Nah.
Honestly, I'm the nigga back on the,
That's
back
you.
on the boat.
That's you, Lord. Nah.
Who that?
But
Who that?
All right, we gonna
Jesus-
wait. We gonna wait for you to get.
Right. We gonna wait.
Come, Jesus.
Right. Come on over here. Let's go.
Yo.
But Jesus sees water as a way, as a pathway. So he does not consider what everybody else considers about it.
Right.
I see now. All I see is I need to walk that way. Right?
Yeah.
What you about to say?
I was about to say that's identity, though.
That's
I am-
identity.
Yes.
I am the way.
I am the way. So because I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. All this talking about life and all that, I am life. So everything has to be subject to me. And it goes to now, sleeping in the bottom of the ship, storm comes,
Yeah.
they scared, they come get him. He says, peace be still. And then he started kind of stunting on them a little bit about their weak faith or whatever.
Right.
But it was like, you still don't believe in who you are.
Right.
But it's perspective, it's viewpoint. Opposition now is either one of the, I told him go ahead. So either I'm about to take the long way around and walk around, or I'm just about to get to walk on this water.
Right.
Opportunity.
Opportunity.
Yep.
No problem.
Quickest way to get
Yeah, a straight line.
Straight line.
Let's go straight across this bad boy.
Yep.
And I personally think he might have kept on walking past them boys on the boat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it would have happened that way.
And man, we don't know if that didn't happen though.
Well,
he might have walked past.
I know they were like 3,
No,
but I'm
4
saying
miles.
he might have walked past them, and then they was like, "What is that?"
Oh, right. Yeah, we don't know which way he's coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I always see him coming from back there.
Me
But
too.
yeah, come on, perspective, man.
Hey,
Come on, man.
hey,
What talking about, man? Perspective. Perspective is everything, man.
Yeah.
Seeing, use your imagination. All right, so let's go. I got one. Can I do a
go
story?
ahead.
Yeah.
Right,
Throw yours in there. Throw yours in the bucket.
All right, I'm going to throw it out here. So now,
joking.
we done went to the wedding. All right, now let me throw my perspective at the beginning, though.
Okay.
'Cause we went to the wedding, and if you read it,
I
it
know you ready.
Well, I'm about to do it.
Because you know why?
Let me take it back.
He wildin'.
I'm wilding. I'm wilding. Don't worry about
That
it.
will forever be funny.
I'm wilding.
That's the 11
It's all good.
Pro. It's an opportunity
It's an opportunity.
for everything to be all right.
It's an opportunity for Apple Care. I'm
Ah,
sign up for that. Water, right?
it's
but
gonna
now,
it's gonna
let me-
start working because you
Let me
need
give my
it to work.
perspective, and people gonna debate the perspective that I have on this, but I do not care because I
Speak
read
on
it the
it.
way it's read.
Speak on
But
it.
when you read it, it says they were invited to a wedding.
Who was invited to a wedding?
Jesus
Jesus
and
and who
the
else?
people that was
The
with him.
homies.
People that was
The
excited,
homies.
right?
Jesus and the
It
homies.
said,
All right.
and it says just like this. And when they wanted wine,
Who was they?
we don't know. Jury is still out.
Oh, okay.
Now I always thought it was them people at the wedding,
At the wedding, yeah, right.
but they never specified it because
Right,
they.
right. That's what we've been taught.
Yeah, but the context says they were invited to a wedding, and when they wanted wine. So I put them two things together and said they wanted wine when they got there and they was out of it. Jesus them.
Hold on. What was the first part?
Jesus them. They were invited to a wedding.
So that's what it said. They were invited to.
I
a
don't know
wedding.
if it said they. Let me go. Hold on.
I'm trying. Yeah, I'm
It
trying.
said Jesus and his disciples were invited to a wedding.
Hold on. Let me see. Yep. Yeah, what it did say that, right?
What is
Yeah.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me read it because it ain't say
Yeah,
John
so
chapter 2. I already know where it's at. You know I done studied this one. Chapter 2.
This story about to be
God.
lit.
Oh God! And the third
All
day there was
day.
a marriage in the Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Cool, mom's there, and both Jesus was called and his disciples to the marriage. So it's now Jesus and the disciples to the marriage. And verse 3 says, I got this one highlighted in green. Lord have mercy. And it says, and when they wanted wine, the mother of Jesus said unto him, Jesus, they have no wine.
So you saying I want wine, and
They
now
ain't got
my
none.
mama telling me, oh, they ain't got none.
And Jesus like, what they
Now, of
gotta
course, he
do
said,
with
what they got to
me?
do with me? But then they was like, whatever you say till you do it. So now, Jesus in the midst, right? And so now, opposition
Opportunity.
or opportunity,
Yeah.
Opportunity.
right? He sees opportunity because he sees pots.
Uh-huh.
Now, they the holy pots. They the pots that the holy people wash their hands with.
No.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
those the holy pots,
No.
right?
What? Did y'all know that?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll
snap.
read it to you. It
No,
says,
I'm just saying the people listening.
It's crazy. Like,
He took
It
the
says,
holy pots, y'all.
Jesus said, he said, and there were a set of 6 water pots of stone after the manner of the purifying of the Jews. In other words, that's what they used, the holy water.
Yeah.
That was just putting the holy water in to purify themselves.
Holy
containing
water.
2 or 3 firkins apiece. I hit the word firkins, and the firkin is capacity for liquid, measuring liquid. It's about somewhat less than 9 English gallons.
A firkin?
Yeah, each one had contained what? 3 firkins.
3 firkins.
God, dog, I miscalculated. It's 3 firkins. A firkin is 9 gallons, so it's about 27 gallons
Wow.
It's a lot.
in 6 pots. Can we do some math right quick?
Ooh.
A firkin, 26 times.
Is that right?
Wait, 27 times. Come on, man. Somebody do some quick math before I get my calculator. Don't worry about it.
162?
times 6.
162.
162, right? It's 162 gallons.
Wow.
He said fill them up. Opportunity. Now, this is another
First
thing,
of all,
too.
how much wine? You just
That's a
made
whole nother party.
gallons of wine?
Yeah, because that
You made 162 gallons
I was
of
like, that
wine.
could look like an opposition. That could look like, man, it's a lot.
Yeah, boy, yeah.
It's a lot to fill up.
That's
man.
a lot to fill up. Hold on. Not a lot to fill up. It's stones, pots of stones. So these big old stone pots. I don't know if anybody ever carried stone or stone, but it's heavy. Like, it ain't no joke. Ain't no dollies or nothing back then either. So, right? And there also is no running faucet or water. So you can't pull out the hose pipe and fill it up.
Oh, man.
You got to take this and go down. Even if you got to go to the well or the river, you got to dip. You got to keep dipping until you
Down to
fill
the
27 gallons up,
water.
and that's only one of the 6.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So it was some time spent.
Well, it's some time spent. Now watch this.
We read
the
those
miracle.
scriptures
It's a
so
miracle.
fast.
The water and the wine. No, it's the perspective is the process. That was work. Because we read things and it's like script, verse 6 to verse 7, we don't see the process that is in between verse 6 and verse 7 or whatever scriptures it is.
Right.
It's a process. But Jesus still sees it as an opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Instead of an opposition. You get it? And now, of course, we know the end of the story. Reading it quick, you should slow down and read it yourself. But now the water actually turns into wine, and they say it's the best one. You kept the best for last. You know what I'm saying? Like you kept the best ones at the end. So I think that's dope. There's opportunity.
And they had so much left over.
Right.
That much.
Right.
That's more than what you need for a wedding.
Right. And he saw opportunity in people. Because I always like to say this, who turned the water into wine? You would say, well, Jesus did it. Okay, cool, but how did he do it? Who did he use? He used people. It didn't say Jesus, and they brought the water pots back to him, and he stuck his finger in the wine or in the water, and it turned it. It didn't say none of that.
And laid hands on the pots.
You get what I'm saying? It didn't say any of that. It said they went, got it filled up with water, and they served it. And so he saw the opportunity in them believing in him to even go and do that.
Right.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's just opportunity.
Yeah.
Opportunity over opposition.
Opportunity.
You know, process over problem. And now in our lives, we can see that. I mean, come on, we can go store after store. The man at the pool couldn't find somebody to put him in when the angel come and stir the water. Jesus asked him this. Well, he told him this today. He told me this today, but I was reading it. He said, "Would you be made whole?" And the man immediately started talking about his problem. But he was trying to say yeah, but he immediately started saying, "Well, you know, here's what. Let me explain to you since you don't know. You're not from around. Let me explain to you how this goes. Because you talking about made whole. But let me tell you, the only way people made whole around here is when the angel of the Lord comes down at one time, a year, whatever it was, and trouble the water. And the first person that get in get healed. He said, but I ain't got no man to put me in. He was explaining his perspective.
Yep.
His point of view, was somebody taught him or somebody told him, and he had been sitting out there for 38 years. Crazy, right?
38.
38.
38, right? 38 years, right? Right? And then Jesus says, take up your bed and walk.
Right.
And something in that conversation jolted his perspective.
Yeah.
And he got up.
Get up. Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
Opportunity over opposition. Now, here's a deeper part of that opportunity. They asked him later, so he's carrying his bed. So the Pharisees are the holy people. Right? I'm about to say holy.
That's good enough.
Holy niggas, but I said it now. So all the holy people, right, came and said, you know, you're not supposed. It's the Sabbath. You're not supposed to be carrying none today. You're not supposed to be doing no work today. And look what he told him. He told him this. He said the one, and I found out perspective. I learned a new perspective about life, about generation, whatever you want to talk about. People are going to listen to the one that makes a difference in them and in their lives, in their being, and really make some things happen.
Word.
Because the first thing he said was, the one that healed me, the one that made me whole told me to carry this. In other words, I'm not about to listen to y'all no more telling me to do this and do that. Because y'all been walking by me on all these Sabbath days, all these 38 years.
Yeah.
Right? And y'all ain't tell me nothing. And this guy come to me one time and changes my perspective about myself. Y'all can't tell me nothing.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ye. You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Wait till I get my money right. But anyway, right. So, but perspective changed.
All right.
He changed his perspective about himself, right? And then he gets up and go, all right, can we want a couple more? You want to do a couple more? Are y'all out of them? Look,
No.
I got
We're
one.
never gonna be out of
I got one.
Oh, all right. Go ahead.
The woman caught adultery. Perspective.
Yeah.
They ready to throw stones. He sees an opportunity
Yeah.
for redemption and salvation.
Yep.
He sees her differently than they see her. You get it? Now, I ain't gonna say how they saw her because somebody was in there with her. So now you're trying to act funny, like, look at it.
They saw it as a scapegoat.
Right. He just
Right.
stood in the crowd, like, yeah, stone us. She ain't gonna tell my old lady.
Right.
Killer evidence. Killer. Let me throw the stone. Throw a brick at her.
On three.
On three.
The loudest one. He the
Right.
one.
On
He the one.
three. On
Except
three.
it was like 8 of them that was loud.
And so, but he sees something different.
Yeah.
And he sees the process. And of course, we know you got to read it for yourself. But go see it. And then he says, go and don't see yourself. Go and don't sin no more. Go and don't see yourself that way no more.
Yeah.
Go and change your perspective about you. You get it?
Yep.
So no opposition. I keep saying no opposition, opportunity.
Yeah.
No problem, process. You get
the-
it? There's nothing but good in God. Okay? Everything outside of that is a figment of your imagination that's creating the fragments of your reality. I'll say it again. There's nothing good. There's nothing else but God and good. Everything outside of that is a figment of your imagination that's creating the fragments of your reality. Evil is only the absence of good. Now, perspective. You want to play some perspective games right quick? The word evil, E-V-I-L, right? Right? Spell it backwards. What is it? Live, right? But there's two other words you can get out of. You can get veil, V-E-I-L, right? Which is something in between where you can't see. It's always something separating.
Yeah.
And you get the word vile, which means like it's despicable, it's terrible, right? So you got evil, vile, and a veil. You flip the words around depending on how you position the letters, how you look at it.
Right.
You get live.
Yeah.
Or live.
Yeah.
All right.
You get it? It's all perspective.
Yep.
But I don't want to be saying this I don't want like us to be discussing it as some kind of little feel good thing because it don't feel good all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah, I'm glad you
seeming
said that.
opposition will put pressure on you, and you may be in pain, and you may be worried sometimes,
Yeah.
and you may be in fear sometimes. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your perspective.
Right.
And your perspective, I'll be sweating now. Your perspective. Look at this
Come on.
thing.
You're wilding.
Come on, black man. Preach, black man. Preach.
Oh my God.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Come on. Come on.
oh my God. Right? Your perspective
Uh-huh.
changes your process.
No, I'm wild.
You get it? I'm wild.
Nah, but I think in light of what you just said, then I think we can go to Jesus in the garden
Love it.
before he taken away.
Yeah.
Like that didn't feel good.
Yeah.
Right.
That was a bad feeling.
Just
at that
think
point.
about receiving something as a weight. Even if we think about it like the port, taking that on, you got to make room for it. It's heavy. It doesn't feel good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You need help with the unity part. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And just thinking about, like you're saying, seeing that opportunity when he said, like, can you let this cup pass for me? But then said, nevertheless is a weighted opportunity, focused, perspective change really quickly. It's
Flip.
It's written quick, but he could have took a little moment between those two words.
Well,
you know
they
what I'm
say he
saying?
went- and they say he went back 3 times, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
They say he went back 3
you're
times
right,
to go in
you're
and
right,
ask again.
You're right.
See, we never know that unless we slow down and get RedIn30. We're
Right.
gonna start calling it. It's like a verb and a noun. Like you RedIn30, right?
Right.
You been RedIn30, and like you know what I'm saying. Like we're
Yeah,
gonna make
yeah,
it
yeah.
because if you don't RedIn30, you won't know that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you won't spend the time over and over again, you won't even see that you think you're weak because you're not so strong in faith. I'll never forget. Shout out to Stephen Furtick. I'll never forget him preaching a message that changed my perspective on Abraham, because Abraham was known as the father of faith, but he's the same guy that was scared and act like his wife wasn't his wife to Pharaoh. He's the same dude that went into another woman because his wife told him to go to another woman because he didn't believe what God was saying about him and his own wife. But it's the father of faith.
Same one.
But it made me understand. Okay, hold on. I'm not tripping, like because I would trip off my weakness. And think, I got to have stern, strong faith and don't never waver. No, it's not about the absence of doubt. It's about what you do when doubt hits you,
Yeah. Come on.
right? Doubt, the word doubt starts with the same word as the word double. James talking about a double-minded man. What did it say about him? He's unstable in all his ways. Doubt is that is. Doubt gives you a second thought other than I'm one with God. But it's not that thought comes or not. It's what do you do with that thought when it comes? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's not about not being scared.
Right.
It's about realizing that whatever is bringing the fear on, you're bigger than the fear. You get it? Opposition, opportunity, problem, process. And your viewpoint of you and your relationship with the Father says everything. This is not religious. This is not super deep and super spiritual. This is very actual.
Yeah.
The way when you're talking, I pictured us being like filters.
Yep.
And how things come out depends on what you do with it on the inside of
Yep,
you.
yep.
So it's not saying it won't come in, but then when
Right.
it does come in, how does it come out? As in, like, what's the actual result
What's the
this is going
process?
to be in your life?
When
Like
you take in
you're
information,
filtering it.
look, you're filtering it.
On a
Even when
regular
you-
basis.
Even when you take in information, you have to process it. So sometimes, you ready for this? Sometimes the problem, you listen to me? The problem that he's sending to you, he's sending it to you for you to process it. He may send a problem person to you. And I don't mean to get in a toxic relationship. So let me get that clear right quick.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, God
That's
want me
another
to change him.
episode.
That's another conversation. But sometimes he can be sending things to you to process you and to process it. Right? You good? You need some water? You straight?
Can we cut that part out?
We need. I don't even
I
think
just
it's
started
hard.
choking.
I don't think it's hard to get
No,
the
there's
camera
a
on me.
camera.
Well, he gonna keep that shot I had. So
You don't know how this works?
she don't know how this works.
No, I have no
that girl
idea.
Say, that girl say, cut.
Good.
Hey, that boy, hey, you saw that boy drinking that, you know, seen that boy drinking that little bottle of Hennessy? Thought, well, we going to drink this tonight. And then he started choking on. He was like, cut! Cut. You never seen it? Oh, dog, you got to watch that one. I'm going to show it to you after that. Any of y'all seen, y'all ain't seen it? None of y'all seen it? Oh, I'm going to show y'all after. I'm going to show y'all right
Thank
after
you.
because it's fun.
Right,
He was
right.
like, cut, because he was choking on the liquor, dog. It's so funny,
yeah.
dog. And there's a little bottle, too. A little bottle.
The shot.
Just because you do camera stuff. I don't know
We,
anything about that.
well, son, this is our 14th episode.
But filtering.
like that filter water you got right there.
It's processing us, and God is using us to process things, right? Life is the only thing that can take your excrement or your waste that comes from your body,
Okay,
and use it. You know the word I want to use, and make it fertilizer. Like God is the only thing that takes and makes it fertilizer. That's crazy, right?
He take what he take?
He take and makes it fertilizer,
Okay.
right? He's the only one that can do that,
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right.
and so.
Circle of life.
And so, but it's all about how you see it. Perspective. The circle of life, man. We eat the antelope. The
growing
antelope eat
thing.
the grass, and we die. We become. You
It's
remember
growing
that Lion
fruits
King?
and vegetables.
Right. So perspective though,
I
and
remember-
processing.
I just remember Hakuna Matata.
Hey, I got a dope one. Shout out to Swag. He texted me one just now. When Jesus got to the boat after picking up Peter, they said, and when he picked up Peter, when he got back to the boat, immediately it was on the other side.
Yeah.
We call that teleportation.
Porting.
Port.
Yeah, cool.
Teleport.
Wow, yeah.
Right. Like an opportunity. So he's like, he make the opportunity like that. Now but you gotta, that's Super Saiyan. That's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you gotta get to another level of belief
Yeah.
in order for the process to be like this. Everybody likes immediately, straightway, suddenly, but nobody's done the go fill the pots up. Take time to go fill the pots up, go catch a fish.
Right.
Like that's the process. So
the process,
and
yeah.
so I take these stories, you know, and I take it and I put it in my life. You know what I'm saying? And I embrace the process of it. I don't see a problem. I embrace the process. I don't see opportunity. I mean, opposition. I see opportunity. I see something ahead of me that is something that's season is time. It's fit for me. If the opposition came my way, it meant for an opportunity for me.
Opportunity means fit.
It's fit. Yeah, it's fit for me. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's fit. It's fit. It was tailored for me. And so instead of me trying to push it off on somebody else or getting somebody else to save me, come on, Jesus, come and save me. I realized that it was for me. So do I let this cup pass me? He said, I can't. Look, we read it the other time.
Wow.
He said, what I'm going to say?
Right.
What I'm going to say? Take this from me?
Yeah.
He said, no, but I came for this moment. This is what I showed up for. So now what you see as an opposition, I'm seeing as an opportunity. The cross was an opposition to everybody else, but an opportunity to Jesus.
Yeah.
Yep. That's clear.
Because we don't know resurrection
Right.
if he never goes through that.
Right.
You get it? That's the ultimate viewpoint.
It is.
So now
That's the
and I'm
ultimate
going to say this and
story,
I'll be
too.
done with it because we'll go all night about this. But now when the Lord's Prayer says when you pray like this. When you request or when you introspect, that's what prayer means. Do it like this. He says, our Father is one with God. Because the Son is one with the Father. Equal with the Father. Our Father who art in heaven. Perspective. Now we know what we're talking about. Hallowed or holy is thy name. Your character, right? Thy kingdom come. Your ways come into view, come into sight. And thy will be done. Thy will be finished. Thy will be, and then complete. In earth, because we're earth, as it is in heaven. So when I pray like that, thy will be finished. Perspective.
Perspective.
Everything you change perspective.
Yeah.
He said, if you have ears to hear, let him hear. You see it like this, I see it like this. Watch this. He even did that. That's dope, ain't it? Ultimate perspective chapter. You ready? Matthew chapter 5. So the Beatitudes, blessed are the meek for they inherit the earth.
Yeah.
Like nobody thinks the meek going to inherit the earth, but his perspective changed. Right? And then he says, when they slap you on one cheek, turn the other. Sue you for your coat, give him your cloak. Actually, go to mile, go two with them. Right? Be mindful when you're in the way with your adversary. That's perspective change. He said, watch this. This trip, y'all ready? He said, you said, no, Siri, this is not your turn. It's not your turn. Be sorry. Don't be sorry.
Don't be sorry. Be
Don't
careful.
be sorry. Be careful. Where was your antennas when they was?
She's going to be like, what is careful?
yeah. Perspective change. He says this. He says, you say you lay with another woman, you commit adultery. I told you if you think about it. Yeah, we all dead. All the fellas in the room, we dead. If that's the case, we all sinners saved by grace.
Yeah.
Right? Because think
Boy,
about
you
it.
lying, boy. As soon as she walked by, your head went out.
Ooh. Right? So now,
He said no.
but he's wanting a perspective.
Lying.
He's saying that the perspective that you have of holiness or keeping yourself together is not the one that does it. It won't work. So let me change the perspective. And then what he does too, he does this. He says, so now, like, what I'm going to do? If I can't think about it, every time I think about it, I'm done. Oh, man, what I'm going to do? Then he begins to say it's a much higher thing. It's something higher than what your hands or your own mentality can do for you. It's only the one that's with the Father. That's great, ain't it? That's so clear to me, but it's so relieving. Because I've been trying so hard
Yeah.
to keep things together. And I've been trying, man. I've been trying, and I've been failing. Or whatever society's perspective of failure is.
Yeah.
Right? But the truth of the matter is, there is no opposition. There's only opportunity. There is no problem. It's just process. And if I change, so excuse my eyes. Just I get rid of the excuses. Right? Like there are no more excuses now.
Yeah.
Because if I change my perspective, then there are no problems. And there is no opposition. So I can't make an excuse for not making it. I can't make an excuse for not being more than what I am.
Yeah.
Right? Because my mind, the only thing I can say is that I'm not looking the right way. Y'all get it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the way. And we can go story after story after story. The one with the issue of blood. I mean, the dude at the... And then I also know perspective, too, and this is cool, and we'll talk about this next time. But the other night, I've been saying a lot that the Bible's a story about me and that you put yourself in the Bible. But when it got down to the Gospels, I never specifically put myself... Like, we would always talk from the perspective of, let's heal people. Right? Let's rise up and walk. Right? The miraculous power. We always did that. But I never thought about the fact that before we get to that, I'm the guy sitting at a pool looking for a man to do something for me. Looking for somebody to deliver me, somebody to come and rescue me, somebody to give me an opportunity when I am my own opportunity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? But it's not until I encounter all the religion, all the people at the temple, all the rules and everything, but it's not until I encounter Jesus that I realize more about myself. That's cool, ain't it?
Yeah.
There's some sound bites up in this thing, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not until I encounter Jesus do I see me.
Yeah.
I don't even know myself. I haven't known me. People say meet Jesus. No, meet yourself through Jesus. Because I don't even know me. Like I haven't, up until this time, I have not seen me. Until I encounter Jesus the Christ.
Yeah.
And he says, you too.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yep.
RedIn30, guys. I mean, it don't get no clearer than that.
Yeah.
I think that's dope.
True.
Y'all got any?
Hey, if you find some stories, share them with us too.
Share them with us. I think, yeah,
And
perspective.
then
Like we're always
people
open
are
to that.
probably going to start seeing opportunity
What-
out of
what-
their oppositions all day.
I think that's what it's about. I think a couple of times we did an episode. We was like, if you got questions, or if you have anything to say, email us or whatever. But I think now I want to open it up.
Let's do it live.
Let's do it live. Do it live. Do it live, RedIn30.
Live
No,
questions.
it is live.
Oh, live questions. We can do live questions. But I'm about to say this. Let's do live. let's do perspectives. Let's let people send in perspectives.
I love
Because
it.
like you was talking about with the girl you had, and like I want even like some of the stuff like the curve and all that. Like so now
Yeah.
like email was RedIn30, red in the word 30 spelled out at gmail.com.
Yeah.
You can DM us. I was say email us.
us.
You can DM us on Instagram
Time to go.
at RedIn30, on Twitter at RedIn30.
Oh my God.
Stop! It's almost over. At RedIn30.
man.
At RedIn30. What else? Come on, missing stuff. Come on. At RedIn30 on Instagram. At RedIn30 on Twitter. Red in the word 30 spelled out at gmail.com. You can email us. Oh, what else you could? What else? Am I missing something?
No, he said social media, email.
Oh, y'all want sweatshirts? Holla at us. We got. I ain't wearing none right now.
But the Iron
But
Red
who got
30?
one on? Oh, right here. But I'm RedIn30. So, I think if you're part of the clique, be a part of the tribe. I think all of us are part of the tribe. You just don't know it yet. I am RedIn30. Get your sweatshirt or t-shirt.
Yeah, you
We'll
also
hook
can
up.
DM us
Just
for
DM
that.
us for that,
So
too.
we're a tribe.
We're a tribe.
Okay.
Yeah, we're a tribe. I like being a tribe. Tribe is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
a tribe. And so
We do tribal things.
We do tribal things,
Hey.
right? But I like it. Look, so now what y'all can do is y'all can email us or y'all can DM us and send us your perspective. You may see something that we're reading out of the Gospels or anywhere, and you might have a different perspective because you're doing it with new eyes, with fresh eyes. So emails that we're open to those because I'm learning.
Me too.
I be sitting here like I know what I'm talking about, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like I be sitting there. I mean, I know a couple things, but I don't know.
That's
You-
the best.
No, but it's fresh every time we
It's
read
fresh every
something.
time.
We
I'm
always
learning, like
learning.
I learn when I be
Yeah.
talking stuff out. Like you gotta get it out. I'm listening to you, and I'm listening. And
Yeah.
And I
and
like
we get
that
it
it's a
out.
conversation. Yeah.
Right. And so even this is a conversation. So I think, even more response will come when people start digging in and be like, yo, like I didn't see that. Send it to us because maybe I don't see it either.
Yeah.
And we're all together in this. So it's
Yeah.
cool. Red30.com. Make sure you sign up, subscribe, all that good stuff.
I wanted to say something.
Go.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I thought this would be a great opportunity for Nakia to tell us when she was faced with an opportunity in her life for her to, see it as that and not as opposition.
When I was faced with opposition,
Yeah.
and when I
No,
saw it,
use it as opportunity.
when
We was faced with opposition.
he said faced with an opportunity.
Yeah, you faced
But-
with opportunity. Oh, well, maybe you saw it as opposition at the time.
Yeah, that's what
All
you're
right,
saying.
okay, yeah, I
when
give
when
He's
was
skipping.
I?
He's not even. He's saying that opposition don't
I
exist.
got it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I like it. Ooh, a lot. I mean,
I was just, it's always nice to have a little personal touch.
it is nice to have a personal touch. You want to go first?
Yeah, I can. I can.
Okay.
I know, like there was this this time when I was in high school, right? I'm I'm at a Christian school, small Christian school. We won we've never had basketball tryouts before in our lives, ever in life had basketball tryouts.
Okay.
But somehow the coach got a grand idea. We gonna have basketball tryouts because he was trying to, presumably cut the fat off the team of people that he didn't think. And I was, one of those people he was
Ooh,
trying to
were
get rid of.
you?
Yeah. Yeah, because he ain't like some stuff
I
about
remember. I
me. Yeah,
remember.
and so but he created something.
He was old.
Yeah, he created something, and I love him now.
Couldn't have
I loved him then. Like I wasn't tripping. But he created something
I'm wilding.
with the direct intent to get me out. But and he's like he's like I know he was like you're not athletic as some of the other guys, and so. It's gonna be really hard for you to make the team. So I'm just letting you know now, so you don't get your hopes up and stuff like that. Like you're probably not gonna make the team next year. And I was like, all right, bet. I ain't say all right, bet, because that's a new terminology.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I was like,
Whatever
okay, we
translates
gonna
every
see.
time.
Yeah, we gonna
Yes,
see.
sir.
And so I just went to I went in my bag and I worked out every day, like multiple times
Love
a day,
it.
because I was like, there's no way that I'm gonna give you the satisfaction of kicking me off this team.
Right,
I'm saying I ain't making it.
You wanna play me,
Ah.
right, right,
Ain't no way. You gonna have to drag me off this court.
You're not
Right.
gonna do it.
There's no way. And
not
so I
gonna do
did
it.
that, and I saw it like that, and I was like, yo, let's get it up there.
Right.
And I did that.
I love it. So I would say I've been, and I kind of told this story already, but I was fired out of the job, and then
You got fired on your day off?
I was at work, but it was a Friday though.
It was a Friday.
It was a Friday.
Oh.
They let me work all day that day too. They let me work all day, and they knew
And
they
then,
were gonna let me.
oh, you lying?
No, I'm not. They let me work all day, and when it was time for us to leave, they pulled me in the room.
And was
told
like,
me
yo, hey,
it's
you
your
pack,
last
pack,
day.
pack your stuff up. Get out.
I don't
Get
know
out.
what episode we told that story on, but y'all got to go back to that to hear the
Dang,
rest
son.
of what happened.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was an opportunity. The next day, I started to go to the coffee shop down the street from my house. At the same time, I would go to work. So I would be there at like 8 o'clock, and I would work all day. And so I just started to learn more about building a business, what I wanted to do, and all that. I actually found a client that same day in the coffee
Crazy.
shop.
Come
So,
on.
opportunity. And
Yeah.
so
Straight like that.
the last job I worked, I also left because the business was basically going down. And so another way for me to branch out on my own. And so it's been what, like 2 years maybe? 2 or 3
3 years what?
since I left the last place. The first place has been about 3-4 years. I
You
don't
just
know.
on your own?
It's on your own.
I've been
doing
on
your
my
own thing?
own. Yep.
Own
I feel
business?
like even
What's
running
the
your
name
own
of your
business,
company?
even when I used to work from home, it's like, no, I'm not about to do that.
No, you is about to
Oh,
do
you about
that.
to do it. You about,
About
to
to
say
do
it right
it.
now.
But I was about to say, every day you
Woman.
Say
in
it.
my position-
We putting our feet
There's
down.
an opportunity.
Follow me on Instagram. Few Editorial and Creative Suite is the name of the business.
Uh,
Ah.
Anyway, We've been flourishing ever since.
Flourishing.
I don't know. Flourishing is a good word for it. It's
It
a
is.
steady. It's been a steady growth.
It's growing.
And we haven't done a lot of marketing, so turning opposition into opportunity.
I love it.
A process.
Go.
Yeah. Hey,
Okay,
you gotta do it like that.
what I noticed about y'all's, and I'm saying about mine, and I have so many. I have several. Like I could just
Shut
go,
down
but I'm just going.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah,
I'm trying to choose
but
something light.
it is. I remember. I'm gonna say it quick because I'm.
Hey, for this part, can we have like some real samba music or whatever?
And then
Hey, no,
with some
forever
violins.
Back in 2012.
right. Well, I've had several like that, but I can remember one in particular where I got shut down from doing music. We're not gonna go into detail how I got shut down, but I ended up having to get shut down, which was almost like the next thing is like it was like God, air, and food, and then music, and that's how ingrained I was. So it's like telling me to take out a part of one of my organs, if you get what I'm saying. Organ, playing words, organ. Anyway. So you got that. But I got shut down, and I remember I rode around for about 6 months with my studio equipment in the back of my car.
6 months?
About 6 months. So I wasn't going out or nothing because I didn't want nobody to steal nothing. And I just had it in the back of my car because I refused to. I couldn't have it where I was. But then I was able to set up it challenged me because I had to stop doing it the way I was doing it. And what I noticed about what happened with y'all and what happens with me and what people don't get is that it's always an opportunity to refine and grow you that you otherwise wouldn't have done if the path would have stayed smooth.
Yeah.
I would have stayed. It never would have stretched you. So what it made me do was I had to get in my room, and I couldn't work with nobody else. I couldn't do anything else. I had to get in my room, and I'm just sitting in my room, and I had to get better. So I never stopped, but I couldn't put anything out, and I was in the process of putting music out. So what it did to me was it stopped me. It seemed like an opposition, but it squeezed me to start getting better. So while I'm in the cocoon, the wings start growing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And while I'm in there, it seems like I'm dead to the world and nobody knows where I am when I'm wrapped in, right? Discovery Channel, right? But my wings start growing, and then when the cocoon cracks open, I come out like another beast.
Yep.
They're like, oh, you don't understand that I've been locked in this room. But it was an opposition that I thought was a stoppage, but it was really just putting me in the cocoon.
A lot of times staying hidden is the way you come out with that opportunity on a whole nother level. Like opposition come, hide somewhere and work or whatever you got to do. And then you come out and now you see the opportunity on the other end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it's difficult, even if it's lean, even if it's not as progressive, I think God saves us from our own limitations.
Love it. Word.
He saves us from our own limitations by causing things to come against us. Right, thank you. That causes things to come against us that squeezes us out of our comfort zone that maybe would have been a dying place. Mm-hmm. Y'all get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
No, go.
No, I'm about to say that bring me back to the other thing too, like the difference between a rut and a ramp.
The difference between a rut and a ramp. We know that story, right? Perspective, right? Because a ramp is like this, but it also can be a rut. Depending on how you look at it. We got a deep conversation about it. We'll share it another time. I don't know, we might have shared it one time on one of them. Did we? We didn't.
I don't think so. No.
We'll share, but sometimes you can get into a rut, but it's perspective. Mm-hmm. And your rut can turn into a ramp depending on how you look at it, how you go at it, how you end up even attacking it. You know what I'm saying? And so
no excuses.
No excuses. Excuses are the crutches of the uncommitted. You're just not committed to see something different.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I say we are. I love it. You're not committed to be yourself. You're not committed to be you. Embrace the opportunity in the process. Mm-hmm. Even when it's hard, even when it's difficult, even when it doesn't seem like it's working, stop looking at a thing as a failure. It's not failure. A lot of times it's freedom for you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's not failure. It's filling you. Mm-hmm. So just stop. Perspective change. Cry. Cool, cry, right? But then clear your eyes up and realize we got to see this thing the right way.
Got to.
Right? And then those great things and great manifest things don't come without a process. They just don't happen. Mm-hmm. There is no magic trick. It's a process. So, Red 30, guys. We're good?
Red 30.
Red 30, Red 30.
Thank you for watching and listening to the RedIn30 podcast, where we talk about Jesus, truth, and you. Make sure you subscribe and share this with somebody that you love. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook. We are RedIn30, so you need to be Red in 30.
RedIn30, RedIn30.